right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Tonight, ankle monitors. The man charged with causing a teen to lose her legs was wearing one, but ignored the rules more than 40 times. Our I-Team reveals flaws in the system.
Right now, rain showers are moving in, but who could see some wet snow by morning?
And our top story tonight, safety first.
Our guests are everything, and they have to feel safe and secure.
After just 3 months in business, one of St. Louis's newest entertainment venues is looking for a way to curb crime. Tonight, Armory STL is stepping up its security after a series of car break-ins. Good evening. I'm Mike Bush.
And I'm Ann Allred. The latest crimes happened nearby this weekend. Our Laura Barczewski's live outside the Armory, which has already poured hundreds of thousands of dollars into keeping its customers and their cars safe. Laura?
Mike and Ann, the Armory tells me they are really focused on security outside on both of their parking lots. You can see they're constructing this fence behind me, and they hope to have all these new security measures in place by Friday.
It's certainly a citywide problem. But we're also aware that we do roughly 25,000 people a week, so we have to do everything possible.
Around 10:30 on Saturday night, 8 cars were broken into in the Goodwill parking lot across from the Armory. And just 20 minutes later, another 12 cars were broken into down the road.
A call came in from the Foundry that four suspects in ski masks with a dark SUV, similar to the same description at the Armory. We're breaking into cars inside the garage.
Jake Miller with Armory STL says while it didn't happen in their parking lot this time, incidents all over Midtown pushed them to up their security plan, investing roughly $700,000 more than they anticipated to install extra lights, hire armed off-duty police officers to patrol, fencing around both lots with one-way in and out, and various cameras.
We're deploying this Visions parking technology. And it's their cameras 24/7, and they will scan the license plate and take a picture of every car upon entry and exit.
Miller says ever since stepping up security, they've seen the number of car break-ins go down, and they want to make sure it stays that way. But that means all of the area businesses collaborating. Alderwoman Tina Peel says she's working on that.
When we start looking at this together and seeing what all our plans are, and when we all are aware of what's happening, that will help in terms of making sure that we feel safer.
Alderwoman Peel says there will be a public safety meeting for Midtown next Wednesday at 6:30. We have information about that, as well as how you can stay safe so you don't become a victim on KSDK.com. Reporting live in St. Louis, Laura Barczewski, 5 on your side.
Tonight, St. Peter's police have named a suspect in a shooting outside of a Schnucks store. They're looking for Tyrone Miller of O'Fallon, Illinois. Prosecutors charge him today with first-degree assault, armed criminal action, and attempted robbery. According to the charging documents, surveillance video and a fingerprint on the victim's car led them to Miller. The shooting happened Friday night in the parking lot of the Harvester store off 364 and Jungerman Road. Investigators say Miller shot a 52-year-old woman in the ear while struggling for her purse. She was seated in the front passenger seat of her car while her husband was putting groceries in the back seat. She remains in critical condition right now. Investigators believe Miller is connected to a robbery at a Deerberg store in Shrewsbury just hours before the shooting. Again, he is still not in police custody.
Right now, rain is moving towards St. Louis, and by morning, it could be mixed with a little sleet and snow. Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight, and he has the latest in the Weather First forecast.
Yeah, Mike, what a change. We've got rain moving in now, and it was definitely a much cooler day out there with highs in the lower 50s and just slightly below average. So this is mainly rain at the moment, and it is rain and some thunderstorm activity to the south and west. It's expected to stay rain, and it's already moving into Franklin County and also Crawford County, Phelps and Gascade counties, and it's been generally light. But check out this futurecast. So once it gets a little bit colder tonight and right along the Mississippi River, especially the Illinois side, some of this is expected to change over to some wet snow, no more than a ½ inch on grassy surfaces. Not expecting it to be a big issue at all, and it gets out of here after the morning hours. And this is why we're not expecting it to be a big issue. It is 48 degrees right now, but this moisture coming in overcomes that dry air in place. So showers tonight turning into snow showers in spots, and look at that low, not even freezing at 37 degrees. Coming up, more shower chances in the future. Mike?
All right, Jim, thank you. Just hours ago, a convicted felon pleaded guilty to killing a St. Louis couple nearly 3 years ago. A judge sentenced Demario Bird to 15 years in prison on a manslaughter charge. New tonight, the victim's outraged family is talking only to our Robert Townsend, and Robert is live tonight downtown.
Hey there, Mike. The victim's family members call the suspect's plea deal a painful slap on the wrist. Tuesday morning, Shamika White and her relatives went to St. Louis Circuit Court hoping Demario Bird would finally stand trial for the murders of their two loved ones, Shamika's 43-year-old brother, Clarence White, and his 39-year-old wife, Kelly Maddock. In May of 2020, police found White and Maddock shot to death inside their North Side home.
We were walking in the courtroom, sat down 2.2 seconds and had to get back up because we're wondering what the heck, what do you mean a plea?
A furious White says they learned a judge accepted Bird's guilty plea to reduce counts of voluntary manslaughter, armed criminal action, and unlawful gun possession. Initially, he was charged with first-degree murder. Bird's plea on Tuesday brought Clarence White's sister and mom to tears.
It's tears of pain. It's tears for everybody that is losing their loved ones. It takes a lot out of me.
In court Tuesday, Boyd admitted to killing the couple. A judge sentenced him to 15 years in prison. The couple was married for 6 years. Clarence, a father of 6. Kelly had a young daughter.
We're devastated.
White admits in court today she shouted at the judge, saying her brother and sister-in-law did not receive justice. Twice, Bird's trial was postponed.
They dropped the ball. The prosecuting attorney, all the continuances, the evidence that was proven and given that wasn't used.
In a statement, the circuit attorney's office says in part, each year only 3 to 5% of cases go to trial. A spokesperson says our office holds a more than 95% conviction rate for all cases.
At this point, I'm upset with the system. I want to get the laws changed.
Now, the family plans to take their concerns to the state attorney general. A spokesperson for St. Louis Circuit Court tells me the judge in this case has no further comment. We're live downtown. Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
Well, just 3 hours ago, the polls closed in St. Louis City for the municipal primary.
The first round of voting sets the stage for a ward reduction next month. The number of seats on the Board of Aldermen will be cut in half. Our political editor, Mark Maxwell, is tracking the live results tonight. And Mark, what's happening so far?
Ann and Mike, if the St. Louis municipal primary election was a TV show, it might just get canceled. Very little interest. 88% of voters stayed home, letting the other 12% decide which candidates will advance to the April runoff. Now, to be fair, 9 of these new 14 wards had at least 3 candidates on the ballot, meaning 5 really wouldn't be decisive tonight. Just 1 ward was uncontested. That's Shane Cohn. He and President Megan Green, they'll go on and advance without a challenge. Just to give you a heads up before you see these results, Proposition D a few years back changed the rules to approval voting, not an either-or selection. So the ballot allows you to pick as many candidates as you like in this first round. So it's possible you're going to see some candidate vote totals in just a minute that add up to more than a combined 100%. In Ward 14, 2 incumbents fall tonight. Brandon Bosley, the younger brother of former Mayor Freeman Bosley, and Alderman James Page, both upset. Ebony Washington leads the pack right now, and Rasheen Aldridge coming in second, besting Bosley by just 60 votes. In the new 4th ward, it appears 2 incumbents will advance. With 100% of precincts reporting, Joe Vaccaro leads Brett Narayan by just 35 votes. Third place, Casey Otto couldn't quite get much traction there, but expect that to be a close fight come April. Megan Green endorsed Narayan, but even with that boost, he still trails the veteran Vaccaro. And in the closest race of the night, 2 incumbents holding on to try and survive in the new 9th ward. Tina Peel and Mike Ross, both with 868 votes right now. Newcomer Michael Browning bested both of them. He'll go on to advance. But Peel and Gross, their election attorneys, will likely have to go over any outstanding provisional ballots, scrutinize those signatures, trying to see if they can eke out a win. If it comes down to it, and there's nobody that advances, they might just have to pull names out of a hat or draw straws to determine who advances there. In other news around the city, incumbents like Joe Vollmer, Laura Keyes, Pam Boyd, Shamim Clark-Hubbard, and Kara Spencer held on to commanding leads. They'll all advance. One big race, Sharon Tyus and Tashara Earl will match up in the new 12th ward, but no one came close to Tyus there. We'll have all of these results running along the bottom of your screen. You can find them also on our website, KSDK.com.
Mark, thanks. A federal judge says a Missouri law banning local police from enforcing federal gun laws is unconstitutional. The state legislature passed the Second Amendment Preservation Act back in 2021. Under the law, police departments face fines up to $50,000. Missouri Attorney General Andrew Bailey says he will file an appeal. Tonight, St. Louis Mayor Tashara Jones and St. Louis County Executive Sam Page put out a joint statement saying a bipartisan majority of Missourians want the state legislature to enact common sense gun safety measures like red flag logs and background checks to help keep families across our state safe. But year after year, Jefferson City politicians have continued to pass dangerous bills that make it more difficult to prevent gun violence in our communities.
New tonight, Missouri Public Schools are getting a first look at how they stack up against other school districts under the state's new and tougher performance guidelines. Those guidelines look at graduation rates, attendance, and standardized tests. Out of a possible 100% score, Normandy schools received 55%, one of the lowest scores in our area. St. Louis Public Schools ranked slightly higher with a grade just shy of 64%. It's the first time since 2018 the state has ranked school districts. The local group Education Plus, which partners to make local schools better, has a message about these new grades.
I think as parents and communities look at these scores, I think they really need to dig into more than just the score, what that may appear to be a grade letter, and really look at what did my district do well, and are those things that I think are important for my district? Where did we not do well, and then how can I be a part of that solution?
Ladue ranks the highest among school districts in our area. Clayton and Webster Groves fall slightly behind Ladue, with all three districts scoring at 94% or higher.
He violated court-ordered GPS monitoring dozens of times before causing the crash that forever changed a young volleyball star's life.
Judges need to reconsider the way that they use them.
Tonight, the I-Team exposes the flaws of ankle monitors.
Much cooler weather is here, how long it lasts, plus I'm tracking several shower chances.
Tonight, crews are beginning demolition work on a free-fall ride at a Florida amusement park. The ride is coming down nearly 1 year after a St. Louis County teen fell to his death. 14-year-old Tyree Sampson died while visiting Icon Park in Orlando during his spring break vacation. A state investigation found adjustments were made to the safety harness to accommodate riders over the weight limit. The ride should be removed next week.
Tonight, the 17-year-old girl who lost both of her legs in a horrific car crash in downtown St. Louis is back at her home state of Tennessee. Janae Edmondson is now being treated at a hospital in Nashville. She was in town last month for a volleyball tournament when she was hit while walking back to her hotel. The Pray for Janae GoFundMe page has already raised more than $730,000. You can donate by texting the word support to 314-425-5355. There are about 250 people charged with crimes awaiting trial who are on GPS ankle monitors in the city of St. Louis.
That number has skyrocketed in recent years in our city and around the country. Daniel Riley was required to wear the device when police say he caused the crash that led to Janae Edmondson's injuries. Tonight, the I-Team's Paul Vassan examines why many say it points to a broken system.
This is the moment. 21-year-old Daniel Riley ran through a yield sign in downtown St. Louis. He struck 17-year-old Janae Edmondson, an innocent bystander. She lost her legs. Riley had been wearing an ankle monitor. He was out on bond, charged with armed robbery.
That suggests that this piece of technology is not doing its job.
Wanda Bertram researches the impact of ankle monitoring technology at the Prison Policy Initiative. It's a nonprofit that advocates for criminal justice reform.
Over the last several years, courts have begun replacing in-person case monitoring with ankle monitors. And a piece of technology is not the same as a person. Judges need to reconsider the way that they use them.
A new report shows ankle monitors are used more often. In December 2022, 72% of people released from jail in the city of St. Louis were given a GPS monitor. That compares to 68% in December 2021. The monitors are seen as a way to help certain people charged with crimes avoid jail time and still go to places like work and school. They've also contributed to lowering our city's jail population, down more than 60% over the last 5 years. But Bertram says there are too many people using these devices without enough resources to keep up.
So I think that this all really should lead to more skepticism around the broad use of ankle monitors.
When Riley crashed right here, records show he had violated the terms of his ankle monitor dozens of times. Critics of monitors like these say it shows how people like Riley fall through the cracks.
Without facing any apparent consequence for that.
Missouri Representative Peter Meredith, a Democrat, says the devices only work if they're monitored. Do you think prosecutors dropped the ball?
I think that it's very possible that's the case. They're understaffed, they are undertrained, and the communication is not good.
The St. Louis Circuit Attorney's Office has said Riley's GPS tracking violations were no secret. An office spokesperson saying it was a judge's decision to allow him out of jail. A court spokesperson tells the I-Team GPS violations are routinely sent to attorneys, not judges.
You have to make sure that they're not just being monitored, but that there's a response to the monitoring.
Meredith has supported millions of dollars in funding for GPS monitoring devices. He sees the technology as an alternative to mass incarceration. But he says the crash that happened here shows how that technology has limitations. So when it comes to these ankle monitors, what have we learned from this tragedy?
I think what we learned is it's not enough to just monitor somebody and do nothing about it. We have to have a system in place and people in place that are making sure that when you give somebody rules and a monitor, they're required to follow those rules.
People familiar with ankle monitors say another flaw of the device can be the price and who pays. For some people, the court covers the cost. For others, it can cost up to hundreds of dollars a month. Want to contact me about this story or another investigative tip? Email me at paula@ksdk.com. For the I-Team, Paula Vasan, 5 on your side.
Meteorologist Jim Castillo is in for Scott tonight. Happy to have you, Jim. And you're joining us now with the weather first forecast and that rain moving in.
Yeah, it's already in our western counties, and can you believe it may change to a little bit of wet snow late tonight into the morning?
Why not? Snow in 70s in 72 hours.
Considering yesterday, It's hard to believe.
I know. Yesterday, 70, 75 was it? And then today, 51 for the high, but we're at 48 still. So not expected to be a travel issue with any snow that does fall as we get into the late night hours. So right now at Lambert, good flying weather, and had to show you a picture of this because we can't see it with the cloud cover now, but it's that full warm moon, and John Friedenberg sent us that beautiful picture there. Allergy index, also have to point this out. Trees very high, kind of weird and rare to see this so early in March, but it goes along with this warm winter that we've had. So juniper, the biggest offender there, and mold is on the low side. So the high today, 51, 2 degrees shy from that average high, 40 for the low, but we're going to go down below that tonight, probably 37. So here's that weather first Doppler radar. You can see all that rain. It's just rain in our western counties. And yes, everybody's above freezing. So not quite in Pike County, but Gasconade County through Crawford County and also down into Rolla around Phelps County. So we'll watch this as it creeps into the metro. It's almost in southwest St. Louis County, at least a couple of light showers. It's kind of fighting some of this dry air that's in place. So that easterly wind that's been moving west, it has to overcome that first, and that's also a little factor in what's going to happen late tonight. So that dry air, the temperature goes down, the precip falls through the air, and then we get that rain changing to a little bit of this wet snow. So we'll watch probably a ½ an inch. And some of the isolated cases, again, mainly north of St. Louis, along the Mississippi, and mainly on the Illinois side. But it's going to be a surprise in the morning hours. We're not expecting it to be a big issue because these temperatures are so high. In fact, the lows tonight down in the 30s, but above that freezing mark, and that is the key. And then tomorrow, a little bit gusty. Tonight's gust to about 25 miles an hour. Some of the gusts tomorrow, 30, and high temperatures about 45. A lot of dry time for tomorrow, but a lot of cloud cover also. So watching the morning hours tomorrow, 45, 48 for Thursday, 52 Friday. Switch the clocks forward 1 hour late Saturday night before bed, and a chance of rain Saturday into Sunday, and watching that freezing line again. And then look at Monday and Tuesday. Beautiful, but in the 40s.
All right, Jim, thanks. Frank is here with sports.
Mike, Nolan Gorman is turning heads. Yuri Collins is turning 22, and my favorite basketball team in the world did it again tonight. Stick around.
The Sports Desk is brought to you by Jim Butler Chevrolet, the Midwest's #1 Chevy dealer, 10 years running.
The best sports story I've ever covered was the 2019 Blues, and they will be great again. They will. But right now, investing in them is like trying to find a little spice in a lifeless relationship. What's the point? And what's the point in trying to pronounce this name? I will in a moment. Blues and Coyotes early in the third period. The Cardinal pitching staff was off the charts yesterday. Today, they were just off. The Tigers tore up the young pitchers 16-3. At the plate, Nolan Gorman and Dylan Carlson both hit solo homers. But Gorman was perfect at the plate. He went 2 for 2 with a walk. He's now batting .353 for the spring. Mike Claiborne, a thought, please.
And with that throwing arm that he has, he could really be an important part of the Cardinal middle infield, along with Brendan Donovan, which creates a very interesting challenge for Ali Marmol. How do you keep both of those guys in the lineup from the left side? One's going to be a DH, one's going to be in the field. Donovan has a gold glove as a utility man, but I'll tell you this, Brendan Donovan might want to look over his shoulder because Nolan Gorman is really starting to feel comfortable playing second base.
He is the best passer I've ever seen. And soon Yori Collins will play his last game as a Billiken. We hope they go 3 for 3 in the Atlantic 10 tourney this week and make it to the NCAA tourney. But every game could be his last. This morning, Collins and the Billikens held a quick workout before flying to Brooklyn. And Yori was the story. It was his birthday today. He's 22. He could have a Vomilka. Collins was also named first team All-Atlantic 10. Hey, when you're the only player in America averaging a double-double in points and rebounds, you kind of deserve it. Any perks for his birthday?
Yeah, don't they let you pick the restaurant that the team goes eats at or something? Or?
I don't know. Coach might got something special planned for me, so I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We ask him to guard the best guys every night, so it's not an easy task. And then we ask him to handle the ball for 90% of the time. He's definitely had a lot on his shoulders, and he's performed every single night.
My favorite basketball team in America, the Whitfield High School girls. They only have 5 players. Coach Chris Ellis can't substitute. Facing Parkway Central in the district championship. And the Colts were down 3 when Sadie Levy is going to drain the 3. We're tied going to overtime. Whitfield has a star in T.T. Nelson. Steal, bucket. And Whitfield iced it at the free throw line. Whitfield wins the district 66-58 with 5 players. Congrats to Coach Ellis and the girls. Vomilkas for everyone. No, wait a minute. They're too young for Vomilkas. I still can't believe this from last night. DeSmet and Ledoux and the Spartans had 5 chances inside 3 feet. But there was a lid on that rim, and the Rams win a thrilling district championship. We had to get the coach's take today.
In terms of just the dramatic finish, it's definitely one of my top 2. Definitely boosts their confidence, and obviously the excitement behind winning a district. I mean, it's our 3rd district championship in 5 years, and so we're just trying to establish that culture, that winning culture, and what it takes to win. And these guys have really bought in.
Vomilkas for everyone. Stay thirsty, my friends.
It does sound like a drink.
It does. What are the Cardinals going to do about this infield, this middle infield with Donovan and Gorman, and this Mason Wynn looks terrific?
Well, it's a great dilemma for the manager, Ali Marmol, to have so many options. I'm flying to Jupiter tomorrow. Hope to ask Ali that exact same question.
All right. Thanks, Frank. We'll be right back.
At Today in St. Louis,
Plenty of green will be spent on St. Patrick's Day this year. According to the National Retail Federation, consumers plan to spend a total of $6.9 billion. That's $1 billion more than last year. It breaks down to about $44 a person. Men are expected to spend $10 more on average than women, even though women outspend men on every category on St. Patty's Day except the beverages.
And join 5 on your side in Dogtown for St. Patrick's Day. The 5+ Live Bus and the Storm Tracker will be in the Ancient Order of Hibernians Parade. If you can't make it down, we'll stream the parade live on the 5+ app. It is free, by the way, on Roku or Amazon Fire TV.
That music makes me happy.
Yes, it does. You're already wearing green.
Kind of. Close enough, yeah.
Ready to go. There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is next.
His guests tonight, Adam Driver and Anna Gasteyer. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. and have a great tomorrow.